The Chicagoland Speedway in Joliet, Illinois is the 17th race of the 2025 DeWalt Cup Series season and the second race of the mid-season tournament. Not only are there heavy-hitting matchups to advance into the third round, but the points battles have been tightening up as well. Just 3 points separate the top 3 in the point standings, and the cut line for the top 10 in points is still very much in question. Which chapter will be written next in this chaotic season? We'll find out during the next 54 laps in the Gatorade 400 right here on JRTV. Welcome everyone to the Chicagoland Speedway, ready for another intermediate-style race in this DeWalt Cup Series season. I'm Joe Rakowski. Trey Bardo joins me alongside the booth. And Trey, we had a chaotic race to kick off the mid-season tournament in Vancouver, a short track race, but now completely different racetrack, completely different type of racing. What do you think we're going to see here tonight on a Sunday night race midsummer here in the Chicagoland Speedway?
Oh, geez, I don't even know, Joe. I mean, it's a night race with these guys at a track that could be unpredictable at times. I mean, that's just a recipe for some wild events to happen. But I mean, it's going to be a fun. It's going to be a fun race no matter what.
Yes, it will, and maybe the fun part of it is going to be that all of the top teams have all their cars starting well. Of the top 10 starters, 9 of them are from 3 teams, and those 3 teams are the major ones. All 3 Tucson cars start inside the top 10. All 3 Otter Island cars start inside the top 10. All 3 Vision Motorsports cars start inside the top 10. The one outlier of those 3 teams that's starting inside the top 10 is the driver starting in 6th, Levi Schoens for Galway Automotive. So Trey, the top teams, the top drivers are up here at the front of the field. That could be a heavyweight showdown if all 3 of those teams have all 3 of their drivers fighting for the top spots here tonight.
Yeah, definitely. So we'll have to see how everything kind of settles it out here. But again, Joe, I mean, this track could really, produce anything. I think if there are past times racing here, we've seen some wild stuff happen.
Yes, we have. And this is a different version, though. Although we use this version in the Gatorade Cup Series, I think it caused a massive pile up, and I think the whole field was involved. That shouldn't happen tonight. Hopefully it doesn't happen tonight, but hopefully we see a really good race. Hopefully it's a calm race compared to what we saw last time out at Vancouver, where we saw 4 cautions, which I think is a season record. And we saw a bunch of, there was a caution during pit cycle, which really shook up the field there as well and created some controversy towards the end of that one. But let's talk about the matchups for the midseason tournament here and how the bracket looks. The right side of the bracket was completely normal. All of the top seeds advanced through into the second round on the right side of the bracket. So you have Nathan Steele to Eli Bright, Roberto Crown Jr. versus Bryce Egan, Jack Haas versus Gabe Willard, Philip Torres versus Brian Rodriguez. No upsets on that side of the bracket. But you go to the left side of the bracket, things change. Justin Zeidel upset Jude Martinelli. He'll face Jerry Chen. The big upsets, Chris Jericho beat Lathan Strickland by a spot. Both cars DNF'd, but Jericho DNF'd last. And then Mathis Wells upset 5th seed Max Davis. So it's going to be Wells versus Jericho. So we know through that matchup, there's going to be someone that's a seed sub 20th is going to advance. Jericho's the 21st seed. Mathis Wells the 28th seed. One of them is advancing through into the third round. Then Keegan Thompson and Riley Bird are the 2 normal guys that we both expected to move on. They did. They'll face each other. They're very close in seeding. Should be a fun matchup there. And then the big one that everyone's looking out for is a matchup in round 2 that could be a final round matchup. We mentioned at the end of Vancouver, this is like Monster Jam World Final 7, Tom Meents, Dennis Harrison facing in the second round. Well, it's Laura Chung versus Matt Tuck and Trey. If you would have told me that was a championship matchup, I would have absolutely believed you. But coming in the second round, we know one of these championship contenders is not going to have a shot to get into the third round here tonight.
Yeah, definitely. So we're going to have to see who the unfortunate driver is, Joe, but I know that they're all going to be giving it their all here, and it's going to be it's going to be an absolute fight to the end.
Yes, it will. And I think it's going to be fun matchups all throughout. We have pretty close drivers in all of them. I think all the 16 that advanced are good drivers and good enough to be fighting with each other for sure. Moving on to the point standings, because it's really tightened up as of late. Brian Rodriguez, with his second victory of the season last time out at Vancouver, his first in Daytona, moved him up into the points lead, but it's by a slim 3-point margin over both Otter Island Motorsports drivers that are up there inside the top 5 in points. Nathan Stimpton and Laura Chung are tied for a second, but they're both only 3 points back of the points lead held by Brian Rodriguez. A little bit further back, Bryce Egan is 4th. He's 27 points back. Jerry Chen has dropped to 5th. He's 33 points back. A really good night, or good day at Vancouver for Jack Haas, moving him up to 6th and only 40 points back. Then you have a little bit of a gap to 7th, Keegan Thompson. Max Davis has fallen near near the danger zone. If he has another bad race, another mediocre race here tonight at Chicagoland, could drop him down near the cut line, even below the cut line. He's 8th in points. Riley Spirit is 9th, and Gabe Willard still holding the top 10 spot. He's on that cut line, on the bubble to make it. Jude Martinelli trying to get up there. Matt Tuck is trying to get up there. That would be big in terms of wild cards, because remember, he has that all-star win. He has a win in a regular season race as well, so we know he's going to take up a wild card spot. The question is, if he bumps up inside the top 10, who falls out? Is it a driver with a win? And if a driver without a win falls out, that helps Eli Bright and Levi Shones. They are the other two winners inside the top 25 in points. Eli currently has the second wild card spot. Levi Shones is 20th, trying to catch up to Eli Bright. And you can never count out someone else getting win back there. Chris Jericho could easily win one of these races. I mean, he's been so good this season, has not yet found victory lane. Could tonight be the night? It's another intermediate track where he's dominated a lot of them this season. You have EKH Enterprises cars that could win. Philip Torres is the third Otter Island car that could win. The Fos Autosport cars can win. There's a lot going on in terms of the points, and it's all going to keep going throughout the summer as we near towards chase time here in the DeWalt Cup Series. Well, let's now get to our picks to win. I had a disaster at Vancouver when I picked Max Davis when he broke from the lead and then got involved in a wreck while multiple laps down. Meanwhile, Trey's pick Jack Haas had a nice day and finished in second place. So that extended Trey's lead over me. So I get to go first again. And I'm not going to go too bold with my pick. I think, pretty normal driver. A driver that we expect to be running at the front. I'm taking Laura Chung for Otter Island Motorsports. I think she's going to get back to the points lead, and she's going to do it by winning this race here tonight at the Chicagoland Speedway. I think Otter Island's getting their 6th victory of the season, and it's going to come at the hands of Laura Chung in the number 79. So, Trey, who are you taking to win here tonight in the Gatorade 400 at Chicagoland?
I'm going to follow your lead and not go with a very bold pick either, Joe, but I'm going to go with a guy starting right behind, position-wise, right behind your pick, and that's the 11 of Matt Tuck. I think he's going to carry momentum here, Joe, and then, look at those spoilers. That's going to be fun too, huh?
Yes, it is. So our picks are not only, fighting maybe for the race victory because they have the speed to do it, but they're fighting to advance through into the third round, and we know that, will we have the number 1 seed knocked out by the 17 seed, or will Matt Tuck get eliminated by Laura Chung? I mean, Matt Tuck was talking some game, wasn't he? After the race in Vancouver, he told Benny Watson, "I beat all 3 of your drivers." He was also saying, "Hey, listen, I'm gonna ruin your dreams here next week, and I'm gonna beat Laura Chung." So we'll see how it goes. DeWalt track facts are up on the screen. It's a 54-lap race. The field window just about midway point, 27 to 30 laps. We'll see how it plays out here tonight at the Chicagoland Speedway. Pace car is in. Nathan Stapleton trying to get back to the points. He's on the front row. To his outside, Keegan Thompson in the 6. Green flag back in the air. We're racing at the Chicagoland Speedway. Three and almost 4 wide already, racing up the back straightaway for the lead, picking up where he left off. Brian Rodriguez won at Vancouver, trying to get the first lap lead here tonight at the Chicagoland Speedway. He clears Stapleton. Max Davis falling back 3 wide up top. He gets back in line. Brian Rodriguez leads the first lap of the Gatorade 400 from 3rd place on the starting grid, and Matt Tuck using the inside to his advantage, getting by Laura Chung and Keegan Thompson. Going now for 2nd on the pole, Sarah Stapleton. Philip Torres, Stapleton's team, has not yet won this season. He's outside the top 10 in points, trying to get points here tonight. He races up into 4th. Levi Shones down in line, and in 5th, the only one of those drivers that's not for one of those top teams, up inside the top 5.
All right, so we have one car that's absolutely cleared himself, and that one car is the points leader too. So, everyone else is noticing that. Matt Tuck is slowly making his way up. He now has Stapleton behind him with Stapleton's teammate Torres, who was behind him, but he's going to go up high there. And 1 and 2 is these guys are still essentially in a shuffle effect right now, trying to figure out where their car is best suited. As you can see, the 0-2 of Ludovic Charette is making their way down to the inside, and Laura Chung is absolutely struggling on the top side right now.
How about Ludovic Charette? For Red Lightning Racing, a team that's not been all that great this season. They got a good run with Angel Gutierrez last time out at Vancouver, threw some wacky stuff with that caution flag, but here's Ludovic, started well, and she's running well, up in 6th place. Great run for her, and we know she has the pace to do it. I think the team has maybe let her down at some points this season, but here she is. She's trying to pass Philip Torres, an Otter Island Motorsports car, to get herself up inside the top 5, so maybe Red Lightning Racing starting to turn a corner here and get some speed into the race cars, but it's going to take a lot of speed to catch the front four, who are absolutely gone. It's Brian Rodriguez leading the way with Tuck, Stapleton, and Martinelli starting to close in on those three as well. Tuck running a little bit higher, trying to get a run out of that dirty air. Rodriguez holds the lead. 3 wide further back. Jericho's making moves on Max Davis and Bryce Egan. Jericho's going to get by them, and Levi Shones is going to get to the inside 3 wide. Chen in the middle. Egan still up top, and as you mentioned, Laura Chung is not finding a way down in line, and she is struggling for pace at this stage of the race. Back outside the top 10, maybe not even now outside the top 15. She still falls back through the field.
Yeah, it's definitely not what she wants to have happen here, Joe, but we still got plenty of time left in this race that she can find that bottom and march her way up towards the front. But at what point do you think it's just going to be too little too late? It's going to be too much work to, really fight your way through everyone again and get up there?
Exactly that. The problem for her is that the outside's kind of good enough to keep her up there, not letting her get down. Maybe she can get down between your cars, Eli Bright, Matthew Burnett, but once again, she gets a little bit of a run off of the corner exit, stays up top 3 wide, so she's still dropping back. See Eli Bright trying to get low on Crown Jr., who's trying to get low on the driver. He's battling in terms of the mid-season tournament. Gabe Willard got jacked up there by Matthew Burnett. These two, the 20 and the 18, are battling for the mid-season tournament to advance into the 3rd round of that. Levi Shomes looking on Max Davis. Jericho looking on Philip Torres. That's for 8th place. Ryan Spruce ahead of that is trying to catch up to Keegan Thompson. Those two are bound to advance through as well, and they're nose to tail right behind Ludovic Charette, who's up inside the top 5. For the leads tightened up. Matt Tuck is right on Brian Rodriguez through turns 1 and 2, with Stapleton there waiting, along with Jude Martinelli in 94. So here they come off turn 2 and up the back stretch. They are nose to tail for the top 3, and the more they stay like that, the more Martinelli able to close in. So at the moment, Trey, I don't think Rodriguez is quite the fastest car, but they're going to have to pass him in a tough manner. See, Nathan Stapleton's actually going to pull out first on Matt Tuck. Not enough of a run to make it to the inside.
What a different set of circumstances we have this week compared to last race, right, Joe? I mean, last time we made it, only 2-3 laps before we had absolute calamity happen. But this time around, Joe, we have a 4-car breakaway by quite a bit of gap, too. I mean, that's a solid 2nd to 2 seconds there till we get the 5th place, and everyone else is just kind of like biding their time. I mean, this is just crazy how big of a turnaround with these guys have made. But this is also going to put into a way of, oh my goodness, Jericho, you scared me there a little bit, but this is going to put into a way of almost, you want to say strategy in a way if we stay green the entire time.
Yeah, exactly that. And something to watch out for in strategy is the tire wear here. See, Nathan Stapleton, I think he might actually complete that pass on the outside of Matt Tuck. It was so close there to being clear into turns 3 and 4. But the tire wear is something to really watch out for here tonight at the Chicagoland Speedway. If we stay green the full way and go a full 27 to 30 lap fuel run, the tires will be worn down by 3 seconds. There will be 3 seconds of lap time fall off by the end of a fuel run. So watch for that. Maybe at the end of these runs, someone starts to come alive, someone starts to fall back. It could depend on how they manage their tires throughout this race. And right here, I think Stapleton, Trey, is faster than Matt Tuck. The problem is he can't find a way clear of Tuck. He has this pace maybe here through the tri-oval. He gets a good run. Where does Jude Martinelli go? They're side by side in front of him. He's going to look high maybe here with Stapleton in turns 1 and 2. Maybe try and arc through the middle there. He was looking, that hole closed up. He gets back high behind Nathan Stapleton. As they race off too, I think this time Nathan might have the run just enough to get clear, and he does. A power move around the outside of Matt Tuck for 2nd place. That was a gutsy move by Stapleton, but he makes it work. That 75 has the speed here tonight.
Yeah, the only question is that long term, how much damage did he do on those tires running that outside? I'm not sure how big of a advantage/disadvantage that top side could be. I mean, you are faster, but at the same time, you could be using up your tires more.
Lucas trying to come back up towards the front. Laura Chung in that number 79, found her way down in line. She just passed Jerry Chen right there for 13th. Now they're side by side in front of her. See Philip Torres starting to drop back with Jack Haas to his inside. Laura's going to stay high with teammate Torres for now. That might allow Bryce Egan the inside lane. Jericho gets clear on the top of Max Davis to keep that spot. That's the 8th place. See Zidell trying to get there. Jerry Chen, those two are battling for the midseason tournament. For the lead, Stapleton was there on Brian Rodriguez. Not quite close enough, but he's close back in on that number 62 as they race up the backstretch. Here's two drivers also battling to try to advance through. Keegan Thompson and Riley Spurtube, they were looking side by side off turn 2. Thompson gets the run, and Ludovic Charette, I'm very impressed. This is a driver to team, as mentioned, not been all that great this season, but they're up here amongst the top teams, and they're staying up there. Ludovic Charette is staying up inside the top 5. She's not falling back, even though she has better cars, a Tucson car, an E-Cage car right behind her.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, she is holding her own right now, which is what you want to do. And as long as you can stay up here, anything really could happen, and it could sway in your favor or hurt you. But we'll just have to see as time goes, as Stapleton is still trying to figure out a way to get around the 62 of Brian Rodriguez. He has led every single lap so far this race, and I don't think he wants to really look back right now, Joe.
He doesn't want to relinquish that lead for sure. But Nathan Stapleton's saying, listen, I'm the pole sitter. I think I'm a little bit better than you as well. You kind of caught me by surprise on the start. Here we go. He ran a little bit higher through 1 and 2, Trey. Got the run on corner exit. Now he's going to look to the inside up the back straightaway. Have a challenge for the lead. Matt Tuck trying to get him right behind him. Maybe loosen that 75 up as well to try and get both those spots. But Nathan Stapleton uses the outside of 1 and 2 to get the run up the backstretch, and down to the inside 3 and 4. Stapleton leads the 16th lap of the Gatorade 400. It's our second lead change of the night. Stapleton back out in front. Remember, he led the first half of the lap until Rodriguez got by him, and now Matt Tuck's going to follow through up to second place for himself. So Rodriguez held the lead, and he's starting to bleed those spots out on the longer run. Maybe he was pushing his tires a little bit too hard to start. It's starting to pay the price here over the course of a long run. Matt Tuck is through to second. Martinelli for Full Autosport trying to get his way up inside the top 10 in points, going for third on Rodriguez, the points leader. Ludovic Charette still hanging tough. Thompson is still there. Spurgeon's starting to fall back. He's holding up Max Davis and Chris Jericho both. Then you have Levi Schoens, you have Jack Haas, you have Bryce Egan and Laura Chung. That's the top 13. Torres back to 14th. Jerry Chen is 15th. Crown Jr. and Zidell are 16th and 17th. Eli Bright fighting with Gabe Willard for 18th and 19th. Hernandez up inside the top 20. Jacob Miller struggling a little bit at this stage of the race. Here are two of your guys, Seaman and Burnett, running right next to each other. Mathis Wells, remember, he's fighting with Chris Jericho to try to advance through, trying to get up as high as he can, but struggling at this stage in the race for the 39. DeLello started poorly. He's not raced all that much better, along with Lathan Strickland. Those are two drivers that are up inside the top 20 in the point standings as we scroll back through the rest of the field. Very much strung out here tonight, Trey, and strung out the front as well. It's still Stapleton, Matt Tuck, first and second, and they're still side by side for third, but I think this time Jude Martinelli has the run, and this time he's going to clear Brian Rodriguez. So the front two have gotten away. Martinelli's up to third, and then you have a log jam of cars back here, and here are these two once again battling to advance through to the third round. They're side by side. Spurgeon inside of Thompson, with Jericho also looking low to turns 1 and 2. So here we go, Trey. The 9th and the 8th seater are battling side by side to advance through at this stage in the race on lap number 20.
We'll have to see how aggressive they get with each other, because when you're, like you mentioned, I mean, they're battling for the tournament, but at the same time, they're also battling for 6th place right here. And if Keegan loses it, he's going to lose quite a bit of spots. He could even lose one to Laura Chung, who, if she can get up there in time. But it looks like at the moment, tournament-wise, Spurleytube has the position.
Yeah, and not only tournament, they're both up there inside the top 10 in points right near each other. So they both want to have good enough runs here tonight to get the points required to keep that advantage they have over the top 10. And Laura Chung, she may not have had a short run car, Trey, but her car in the longer run looks pretty fast. She immediately disposed to get inside the top 10. She passed 3 cars in the span it took us to go back through the field. Now she's passed Keegan Thompson for 9th. She was looking for 8th on Max Davis. Got slow off of the corner, didn't get the best exit, but she's right there on Max Davis. See, she runs a little bit higher here through turns 1. She's maybe trying to get a run. We saw her teammate Nathan Stapleton do that for the lead. It just appears that the outside of 1 and 2 could be a little bit better at some stages compared to the bottom lane. Just depends on how they enter the corner side by side. Chris Jericho, I think he's had enough of being behind Riley Spurgeon, but I think he knows his car is faster. He's going to look low on corner exit, can't quite get there. Driver of the 54 is going to have to stay behind Riley Spurleytube for yet another lap, but he definitely looks fast, and he's been fast at nearly every intermediate track that we've gone to. He just doesn't have the luck this season to have the finishes that show for it. He's led a lot of laps and stuff like that, but see, this is a great battle here. These 4 guys, Riley Spurgeon, Chris Jericho, Max Davis, Laura Chung, all going at it. That's 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th place.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Joe, this is one of those races where it's not more of a survival type instinct, it's more of an endurance type instinct, right? I mean, you just got to slowly and methodically pick your way through the field if you're back here and try to work your way towards the front. As we saw beginning of the race, Laura Chung was up near the front. She fell back, but now she is slowly trying to get her way back up there just inside the top 10 as she is right now. But with everyone else, I mean, you're either slowly picking your way backwards or not. In terms of Keegan Thompson, he's slowly starting to fall out of it and trying not to go into the clutches of that group of 4 back there. And again, Laura Chung, she's making her way up as she's on the inside of Max Davis now.
That was an aggressive move into the trial. Well, she got the run to the inside and made it work. That's a pass right here for 8th place, and they're starting to catch up to Ludovic Charette, so the O2 tires might be starting to fall off, but it's a good time because we're only about 3 to 5 laps away from pit cycle starting, and once they start, they're going to come in a hurry because you can gain 3 seconds over 1 lap. I think Jericho took the air off Spurrier Tube's spoiler, got him up the track, and Jericho's going to move through to 6th place finally. So it took him, 10, 15 laps to do it, but he finally does it, gets by Riley Spurrier Tube, and Laura Chung follows through. Now looks to the inside Jericho for herself for the 6th position. I want to bring up that Chris Jericho this season, he's led the most laps in 4 of the 16 races, those being Texas, Kansas, Charlotte, and Vancouver. In those 4 races, Trey, his average finish is 27.75 with the best finish of 15th.
Yeah, that's not the stats you want on a record, Joe.
No. I mean, that's good. You led the most laps in 4 races, but then you don't finish where you're supposed to. What does he have to do? Maybe tonight's a good night. He's not leading laps. He has a fast car, but he's also 5 seconds back in the lead, so it's going to take him a lot. But, I mean, could be a solid night for him, and he needs solid nights because, his bad luck has dropped him down to 19th in the point standings. He was starting to come alive around, Pocono and then dropped right back down after Vancouver where he got involved in that crash entering pit road.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, I mean, like, you like leading laps, but at the same time, if it's clearly not resulting in good finishes, you almost got to think, like, man, all right, so I don't want to lead any laps whatsoever, and maybe it'll result in a good finish. And so far, Joe, the data is trending in that direction.
Yes, it is. This is a great battle for 5th place, but now pit cycle is going to be starting any moment. The race leaders, I think Stapleton's going to undercut. So Matt Tuck's going to stay out and lead a lap here for a point. Stapleton's going to come in, not let Tuck undercut. The question is, will it hurt on the long run? Laura Chung coming in early. So was Jerry Chen. Crown Jr. trying to do something to beat Bryce Egan. Gabe Willard trying to do something to beat Jack Haas. Philip Torres is coming in, trying to do something to beat Brian Rodriguez. Hernandez is also in. Here comes Mathis Wells trying to do something to beat Chris Jericho in terms of the midseason tournament. You also have Drew Webb, Tegan Fox, and Alex Sanvitale coming down the pit lane. So it's a slow start to the pit cycle, but cars are coming in. Matt Tuck is staying out another lap while Jude Martinelli, Brian Rodriguez come in. Max Davis is staying out for another lap. Bryce Egan is staying out for another lap. So all 3 of the Vision cars, Trey, are overcutting this while everyone else is coming in either lap 1 or lap 2.
They must either know something that we don't know, or they feel confident in their long-run car and they want a clean pit road, Joe. We'll have to see what happens here as here comes Tuck into 3. Looks like he's getting low, Joe, and this might be his time.
Well, how clean is pit road going to be when you're so far out in front that you're catching up to the back of the field when you're entering pit road? Pit road can't be all that clean for these guys because people were just getting into their pit stalls. Look at, they're just getting tires on now, and Tuck's already into pit road.
Yeah, his biggest worry right now is going to be someone coming out and not noticing him. I mean, look at this. 4 cars, 5 cars in front of him now. The 66 to his inside. So far, so good, but where is his pit stall, and he's going to get held up? He
good.
Found a gap,
Yeah.
Joe. It looks like it was a relatively clean entry for him.
Yeah, that was a very good stop. See right here, cars are leaving. It was a bad stop for Chris Jericho's team. They've fallen back behind Riley Spurley Tube, and here's what the undercut does. Laura Chung, she was, 6th place when she came into pit road. She has now jumped up in front of Rodriguez and Martinelli. Jerry Chen's done the same, but Nathan Stapleton is long gone. He's got a massive lead. The question is, do the tires start to fall off as this race goes green? Matt Tuck is going to be under fire from Laura Chung here. They stayed out long. They're trying to have the tires on for later, but Laura Chung's going to pass Matt Tuck. That's to advance through, and that's also for 2nd place on the racetrack. So there's going to be some drama here as we go into the final 20 or so laps of this race, Trey. The tires are going to start to come together, and you can see what the undercut has done. A lot of guys have jumped others.
How much do tires matter here, Joe? In another 23, 4 laps, it's going to be a big question. Like you mentioned, it could look up to 3 seconds of fall off, so we're going to have to pay attention to that. But right now, as everyone's gotten off, I don't think we've had any drama on pit road for the first time in I don't even know how long.
Yeah, I think we were completely clean. Some cars have fallen a lap down. They were a little bit slower on pit road, but I also think that's still cycling through, so we'll have to wait for an update. Maybe they're back on the lead lap. But Nathan Stapleton leads this race by 4.5 seconds over teammate Laura Chung, who had struggled for a lot of the early stages of this race, but the undercut has worked wonders for her. Great battle for 4th place. They're still going at it between Martinelli and Brian Rodriguez to the inside for the 62 into turns 1 and 2. So what did this undercut do in terms of the race? Well, Laura Chung was 6th place. She's now 2nd. Jerry Chen was fringe top 10. He's now up to 3rd. These two pitted at around the middle points. They kind of stabilized where they were. But Roberto Crown Jr. is up to 6th. But the bigger thing is he's beating Bryce Egan, his matchup for the mid-season tournament. Matt Tuck is trying to get whatever spot he can right now. He has the freshest tires of these top 7. He's going to look for a pass on Crown Jr. into turns 1 and 2. Not enough of a nose there, and stays in behind number 20. So Bryce Egan is in danger right now. Gabe Willard has jumped Jack Haas, so now Haas is in danger. But once again, the 23 is on better tires than the 27 is for this last run of the race. So it's going to be fascinating how this plays out throughout the end. Willard is falling back right now on these tires. Jack Haas is a few cars back, so there's a lot of drama in terms of the midseason tournament, but no drama for the lead, as it's Stapleton leading by 5.5 seconds over teammate Laura Chung.
That is an incredible distance between 1st and 2nd place here. Does Laura Chung have anything to catch up to her teammate, or is she just going to ride out in 2nd, advance, and really punch back at that points lead? And at this point, I mean, what do you think is the better option?
Yeah, I honestly think that the 75 is just too far in front and too strong at the moment. I think the only thing that would maybe catch up to him is Matt Tuck being able to get around those guys and with the better tires able to close in, but he's almost 8 seconds back. I don't know if he can catch up to that unless there's a caution flag, but I think some of the battles we're refocusing on is, can Jack Haas catch up to Gabe Willard? And Bryce Egan is being so far behind Roberto Crown Jr. Does the 20 start to fall off in a way that Egan can catch up and advance through? Otherwise, Crown Jr. is going to upset Bryce Egan, and we'll just have to see how it goes. Philip Torrey is looking for a pass there. That's for 11th on Ludovic Charette. Chris Jericho has to repass Riley Spurgeon, but a slow pit stop. They came in on the same lap, but a slow stop has relegated Jericho back behind Spurley-Tube, and that's for 8th place again. Torres is going to get by Ludovic Charette, but once again, his battle is with Brian Rodriguez for the in-season tournament. He's just too far back to make that work. In fact, Ludovic did a great job on the outside there, pulling back even, but Torres has the inside through turns 3 and 4 and should clear on corner exit off of 4, and does. Max Davis is going to get to the inside of Ludovic Charette as well. Move that out to a little bit further back, and there goes Jericho for a pass on Riley Spurley-Tube. That is once again for 8th place through turns 1 and 2, but then they have nearly 3 seconds to go to catch up to the next car, 7th place Matt Tuck, who is still stuck behind Crown Jr. and can't get through. So Matt Tuck's strategy, Trey, it may have played out if not for the fact that he can't get around Roberto Crown Jr., who pitted 2 laps earlier than him.
Yeah, and I mean, the 20 is visibly slower than the 11, but like you mentioned, he just can't find a way around him. He might have to try the outside, but again, how much does that hurt your tires on the long run here? I mean, look at the corner difference. The 11 just gets right up to the back of the 20. Finally, he's going to look to the inside, but does he have enough of a run, Joe? I still don't think he does.
Well, Trey, if he's worried about tires, why? He's on better tires anyway. You have a lap or 2 to use out of your tires compared to the guys around you, and I mean, who cares about hurting the tires now? You're not winning the race staying behind the 20 car.
I mean, that is one way to look at it, but at the same time, Joe, we've seen before that it took, who was it early in the race that took a handful of laps to get around them on the outside? And again, I mean, you just can't take anything for granted here. If you can pass on the inside, you want to do it, but I mean, at this point, you're hurting yourself more than you are helping yourself, saving tires by being stuck behind and losing time.
This time right here, he's looking low on corner exit. Doesn't have quite enough of a run, though, so he'll have to stay behind him for yet another lap. The gap at the front is fluctuating, but it's around, it's staying around the same point of 5 to 5.5 seconds. Here goes Tuck. He's looking high through 1 and 2, maybe trying to get an arc off of the corner to get a run down the hill up the backstretch, and maybe this time he has enough of a run to peak to the inside of turns 3 and 4. Still doesn't, so he stays behind, and he went from 7.7 seconds back of the lead. He's now 8.5 seconds back of the lead and losing time to Riley Spurgeon and Jericho. This time he finally has the inside through the tri-oval. Here goes Matt Tuck, but all the gap he was trying to gain on Laura Chung is now completely gone. He's got to make up a lot of time over these final 13 laps. He's finally clear of Crown Jr., but he's in a bad way in terms of trying to get up to Laura Chung, who's his battle for the mid-season tournament. There's Laura. She's a good ways up.
yeah, what is that, about 4-second difference between the two of those drivers right there, and I mean that's a lot, Joe.
Yes, it is. And Laura's really cutting into Stapleton's lead. I think Nathan is in lap. Oh, he's actually on the outside. So no wonder why. Stapleton's in heavy lap traffic. Laura Chung, his teammate, is closing in, but Nathan's doing a decent job at least moving through traffic. I think he's kind of wanting the outside here. Oh, look at Johnny Cox!
Oh.
Really racing the leader hard. In fact, moving him off the track by about half a car length. I mean, this is bad for Nathan. If he can't find a way around these guys in a timely manner, Laura Chung is closing in. She's still a good distance back, right over 3 seconds. She's now 3.5 seconds back, but now he might get put up top 3 wide here. Johnny Cox, I mean, that car's pretty good, all things considered, that he was back here in this pack, but it's still racing Nathan Stapleton pretty hard.
Yeah, it's weird that you race the leader that hard, but I guess if you're trying to stay on the lead lap, I guess is what you want to do there. But still, I mean, look at this. He's looking. I mean, he's there. And I think Stapleton was more worried about his race car than he was trying to protect the lead, which I don't blame him.
Well, 10 laps to go, and maybe Nathan doesn't have to worry about teammate Laura Chung, but has to worry about Brian Rodriguez, who's on, I would say, better tires by a lap than both the Honor Island cars, and is closing back in. And now Nathan's in a heaping world of trouble here. Johnny Cox might clear Nathan, and that's now allowed Noah Brady to get up right behind Nathan. In fact, he's sliding up the track, so the 8 is by. This might allow the 75 to actually get by the 58, but Nathan is bleeding time to second and third place. It's now down to 2.5 seconds. It was, what, 5.5 seconds, not all that many laps to go. So Stapleton is bleeding, and the question is, did he ruin tires by doing that? It's going to be fascinating to see how these final 8 or so laps play out. Matt Tuck has gotten away. In fact, Crown Jr. is really struggling. Remember, he played the strategy of coming in early, and I thought he was going to have enough to stay ahead of Bryce Egan, but he's bleeding so much time, Egan might have a shot. There he is, a few cars back. Meanwhile, Jack Haas has made no progress on Gabe Willard. The 27 might advance over the 23 as Levi Jones gets by Keegan Thompson. The 6 is struggling to get up to the 28 as well. So some of those matchups that were close, they're looking like they're not going to be all that close at the checker flag. But the one that might be close, Trey, is this 20 car fading back to the 18 in a very fast manner with 8 laps to go.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's essentially the moment that Tuck got around him that this 20 just started falling off of a cliff. And that just goes to show you that, again, it might have been hurting himself more than helping the 20 of holding up the 11. I mean, you're pushing so hard to keep someone behind you that once they get around you, your car just ends. So we'll have to see what happens there with the 20 falling back. But everything else, Joe, this is getting crazy down to the end.
Well, Egan's teammate has just helped him. He put Crown Jr. up top, and he gets by him. Gabe Willard's trying to get by Crown Jr. as well, and that puts them now nose to tail, and now looking side by side. Here comes Bryce Egan, trying to advance through over Roberto Crown Jr., dives to the inside. He'll get by his green spoiler rival of Roberto Crown Jr., and now try and get away from the 20 car. He gets close to the lap car of Chris Keselowski, but Egan has the better tires. He has the grip, and he's pulled away now from Crown Jr. as that number 20 car, he pitted early, tried the undercut, but his tires are absolutely gone, as you mentioned. I think he fought with Matt Tuck too hard.
All right. So, another pass for a position in tournament-wise, and we've got a whole bunch of others going. I mean, Joe, we still have battles that we haven't even talked about in this race.
That's very true. Jerry Chen up there, he's getting loose underneath the lap car of Robert Ashford. Here's a big thing. 5 laps to go. Laura Chung's 2.1 seconds behind the lead. I think the lead is maybe out of question unless Stapleton has some really bad things happen. But Matt Tuck is carving a path up through these guys. He's now only 2 seconds behind Laura Chung. Can he do that in 5 laps? I don't know. Maybe if Laura gets held up behind Joshua Cox and Brian Rodriguez gets by her, it could be possible. So this could still come down between the 1st seed Laura Chung and the 17th seed Matt Tuck. And we'll see how it goes and who advances between those two. Tuck can see Laura Chung up the road, but with 4 laps to go, he needs a lot to go his way. Nathan Stapleton up the Lotus.
There it is.
Still passing guys. Rodriguez tried to look low. He wasn't quite there, but I think that 62 is just a little bit faster, Trey.
I thought they were going to put Chung middle of 3 wide. I mean, that would have been something to see that happen there. But Joe, I agree with you. I think the 62 has some more speed than the 79. You can see him trying to find grip somewhere, trying to build up a run down one of the front or one of the straights. But what do you have to do? As you can see, Stapleton as well still carving through traffic. But the more these guys battle, the closer Tuck gets, and that's just going to put more pressure on Chung.
3 laps to go. Laura Chung over Matt Tuck. It's about 2 seconds still. Oh, Laura with a bad exit off of turn 2. Maybe got the dirtier of Ryan Wilson. Here comes Brian Rodriguez with a run. Forward momentum. looking low into turns 3 and 4. He gets to the inside of Laura Chung. This is for second place on the racetrack, coming back to 2 laps to go. Is Matt Tuck close enough to mount a charge if these two stay slow? Stipton up the road has got by all these lap cars, so he's in a good spot with 2 laps to go to hang on to this race lead unless something happens. But these two are side by side for a second. Rodriguez inside of Laura Chung, Jerry Chen joining the fun, and Matt Tuck now 1.3 seconds back coming to the white flag.
I just don't think it's going to be enough time, Joe. Even if Chung stays up top here and in the dirty air, if there's someone behind him or be, in front of her, I just don't think there's going to be enough time. It's going to be very close. So as you can see, coming to the white flag here, Chung still up top. Tuck is reeling her in, but it's just going to be too much.
Yeah, I think he needs something to go awry with that 79. Here's the white flag. Stapleton all by himself up the road. Laura Chung's going to lose third now to Jerry Chen as well. Matt Tuck is oh so close. You think about those laps he spent by Roberto Crown Jr. and how they're going to hurt him in the end, it looks like. Stapleton up the back straightaway for the final time is all by himself. He gets by the lap car of Alex Savatale. And through turns 3 and 4, it's going to be a masterful day. It's going to be his third win on the season. Nathan Stipton claims victory in the Gatorade 400 at Chicagoland. Laura Chung over Matt Tuck, and Laura Chung holds on by a position. The number 1 seed advances through. And look at Bryce Egan. He got a lot of spots at the checker flag. He stays in front of Roberto Crown Jr. Gabe Willard stays in front of Jack Haas. And the matchups are set now going into the third round. And Nathan Stapleton does his best here tonight to get back to the points lead with the pole position and another victory in the 2025 season.
Oh, my goodness.
There's a lot there, wasn't there?
There was battles on top of battles there, Joe. I mean, seemed like I didn't know. Everywhere I looked, there was something going on, either in race or tournament-wise, and there it is. And as you can see, guys are in the grass. Got to be careful of that. I don't think they're going to enjoy that very much, but there was a lot that went down there.
Yes, there was. That's the beauty of having a mid-season tournament, right? Is that when the race for the lead, maybe not all that exciting. Nathan Stipton played the right strategy, pulled away. The race for the lead wasn't quite there, but the battles for position were there. We saw Bryce Egan pass Crown Jr. late. We saw Matt Tuck really trying to catch up to Laura Chung, and just traffic behind Crown Jr. for Matt Tuck. That's going to be the thing that haunts him in terms of this mid-season tournament. If he got by that number 20 car a lap or two sooner, what could he have done, Trey? Could he have possibly gotten by Laura Chung in there those final few laps?
You got to think he could have. I mean, even stuck behind that 20, he was right there at the end of this thing. So if he would have passed him a lap or two sooner, Joe, he would have been, at least if anything, side by side with Laura Chung. But I guess we'll never know, unfortunately. And Tuck's going to go home, not a part of the tournament anymore.
Well, here tonight, it's Honor Island Motorsports with their 6th victory of the season. That is by far the most of any team. You have to believe that it helps their case in terms of the owner standings as well, staying up there in that owner standings points lead. You have to give the credit, though, to the other teams. Vision Motorsports and Tucson Racing, they also had great nights themselves. All 3 Vision cars end up inside the top 8. All 3 Tucson cars end up inside the top 13. All 3 Honor Island cars end up inside the top 16. So those top 3 teams continued their quest at the front to try and get up there and be the owner points leader, but I think it's definitely still going to be Honor Island Motorsports, and it's going to be pretty much the same as it was just after the last few races. Well, let's go check out the finishing results and how the tournament looks heading into the third round. So here are the finishing results from the 17th race of the season, the Gatorade 400 at the Chicagoland Speedway. Only 3 lead changes here tonight, and it was dominated at the end by Nathan Stipton. He played the strategy of undercutting, and it works out. He got through the lap traffic well. He claims victory over Brian Rodriguez, who makes the pass late for second place. Jerry Chen ends up in third. The undercut definitely worked his way as well. He went from basically a non-factor in the race to being inside the top 3 at the checkered flag. Laura Chung falls back to finish in 4th in those final few laps, but just edges Matt Tuck to advance through in the in-season tournament by just 0.4 of a second. Drew Martinelli with a solid night in 6th. He gains a few points on Gabe Willard for that top 10 in points position. Bryce Egan carves away through some guys to end up in 7th at the end on the better tires with that overcut strategy. Same with teammate Max Davis in 8th. Jericho falls back to finish in 9th at the checkered flag, but another top 10 for him. And Riley Spiritu just hangs on for a top 10 at the end over Gabe Willard. As we look at the rest of the field, go over the matchups and who advances through. So Laura Chung, as mentioned, just beat out Matt Tuck by a few tenths to advance through. Riley Spiritu by a few positions gets Keegan Thompson at the checkered flag. Chris Jericho, it was never really in question here tonight. It was in question if he would have some bad luck, but he advances through over Mathis Wells. Jerry Chen gets away from Zidell with the strategy. He beats him to advance through. Nathan Stipton with the win tonight demolishes Eli Bright to advance through. Bryce Egan in the final few laps got by Roberto Crown Jr. to advance into the next round. Gabe Willard by a few positions stays out of Jack Haas, and he advances through into the third round, and Brian Rodriguez able to beat Philip Torres to advance through as well. So the round 3 matchups, as you can see on the screen, are Laura Chung versus Riley Spurleytube, Chris Jericho versus Jerry Chen, Nathan Stapleton versus Bryce Egan, and Gabe Willard versus Brian Rodriguez. So those are the final 8, and we'll see of those final 8 who advances through into the final 4. Now the point standings after 17 races. We're nearing chase time. Nathan Stapleton back into the points that he has the most top 5s and top 10s of the season, and now with his season-tying 3rd victory of the season, moves up into a 6-point lead over Brian Rodriguez, who falls to 2nd. Laura Chung stays in 3rd. She's only 12 points back as well. Bryce Egan hangs on to 4th, and Jerry Chen hangs on to 5th. Those two drivers are just 2 points apart for 4th and 5th. Jack Haas keeps 6th. He's 21 points ahead of Max Davis, who's in 7th. Keegan Thompson trying to close on Max Davis loses some ground. He's only 2 points behind him now. Riley Spurleytube and Gabe Willard still stay close as well. And closing in on those guys, Jude Martinelli and Matt Tuck both had top 10 days. Martinelli 6th, Matt Tuck in 5th. They close in on a few points on Gabe Willard and Riley Spurleytube and even Keegan Thompson. So it is closing in between some of those guys down around 7th to about 12th in points, and you can't count out Crown Jr., Lathan Strickland, even Philip Torres, Eli Bright, Zachary DeLello, and even Zidell and Jericho. They're a pretty good ways back, but Jericho has the speed to be up there and finish inside the top 10, top 5 every race, has the speed to win races as well. The question is, will it come in a timely manner? But crazy stuff there. The 2 wild cards are still Matt Tuck and Eli Bright, but Tuck is still closing in on that top 10 in points. If he jumps up, then Levi Shones can move inside the top 10 in points, or excuse me, the wild card spot in points. Now, owner points, Adrian Motorsports continues to lead. They open up their gap a little bit over Vision Motorsports and Tucson Racing. About 100 points separate those top 3 teams. Galway Automotive and EKH Enterprises still just 4 points apart, with Galway Automotive in front of Evans Team EKH Enterprises. Pretty close battle between Phillips Autosport and Southern Cross Racing for 6th as well. Just 3 points separate them. As mentioned after the last few races, Me Motorsports in a world of their own in 8th place. Ace Motorsports still ahead of Atlanta Motorsports by about 100 points. Atlanta Motorsports trying to keep the top 10 over Red Lightning Race, and just about 8 points separate them. The battle for last still between Fitzwater Australia Racing and OSC Racing. So Trey, after what we saw in Vancouver, a crazy race, final thoughts from a very calm race here at the Chicagoland Speedway.
Yeah, I think it was a relief to have a calm race. Is that a good way to put it? It
Yes.
was a nice change of pace to have a calm race, is a nice way to put it. I mean, no cautions at all, completely green from start to finish, and this goes to show you who had the endurance and the car control to keep everything underneath them and be a player at the end of this thing. And we saw some drama with the tournament go down in pit roads, and I mean, we had everything we wanted to see here with no carnage at all. So I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah, and no mechanical issues as well. All these cars were completely fine to continue on through the race, and no one had any issues on their cars throughout this 54-lap race. So that was good to see as well. Well, the tournament's going to continue on, and with how calm tonight was, I don't know if next week is going to be all that calm, as we're going to go racing at the Michigan International Speedway, a very fast 2-mile oval. So that's going to be a fun one. That's the American Ethanol 400, the 3rd race of the midseason tournament. So we'll see how that plays out and which of the 4 drivers will advance through into the Final 4. And then the Final 4 will be held in 2 weeks' time back on Sunday night. Short track racing at the Martinsville Speedway, the paperclip. So we have a lot going our way as we head into the summer through the midseason tournament, and the race of the chase is on as well. So a lot going on in the DeWalt Cup Series here through these next 4 to 7 weeks, and we'll see how it plays out right here on JRTV. But tonight, let's talk about Nathan Stapleton, Adrian Motorsports. Stapleton ties teammate Laura Chung for a record 3rd victory of the season. Now, Adrian Motorsports claims their 6th overall victory of the season. Congratulations to Stapleton and Benny Watson, the team owner, on an amazing night here tonight. For Trey Bardo, I'm Joe Rakowski. So long, but tune in next week to Michigan.